I'm recording this on my phone this time because I'm not sure where the microphone is on a computer, but clearly did not pick up anything I was saying last time. So this is Grace Hausman, and my speech is on plastic water bottles and their negative impact on our society. Take two. Okay, so about 70% of plastic water bottles purchased in the U.S. are not recycled, and getting rid of them would reduce waste and protect the environment. So 70% of plastic water bottles go to landfills or oceans after they're used, and about 30% of them get downcycled. So plastic water bottles are made out of a cheap plastic material called PET, which is sourced from non-renewable crude oil. So companies did little to no research as to how the plastic could be broken down and recycled before they put it into mass production. So after plastic water bottles, PET plastics most often get used for polyester fabrics, carpeting, and clothing that typically go to landfills after one use. So that is what is meant by downcycled. PET plastics must also be extremely clean and uncontaminated before they can be remanufactured and enter this downcycling process. So it only takes a small amount of very itty-bitty fraction of contamination to turn an entire batch of PET plastics into unusable garbage. Aside from the fact that they're made from cheap materials, recycling is also a really expensive process, and many companies consider it to not be worth the time, money, or effort to recycle in the first place. The recycling process of glass, metal, and plastic in New York cost the city $240 per ton, which may not seem like a lot, but it is almost double what it costs to throw these materials away. Recycling in New York is also one of the most expensive labor forces, with the materials having to be sorted by hand. A result of the expensive recycling is that many states lack adequate recycling incentive programs. Only 10 out of the 50 states in the U.S. have container deposit legislation, which gives people money for returning the materials to be recycled. So if you have like a trash bag full of maybe soda cans or something, then you can return them to a recycling company and get maybe like 10 cents a can or something like that. Tap water is more regulated than bottled water. So we should probably be drinking tap water instead of bottled water anyway. Tap water is regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency, who mandates that water utilities provide annual quality reports to customers, providing information such as the water source, contaminant levels, and potential health effects. Many municipalities add fluoride to tap water, increasing overall health benefits. So according to the CDC, most all water contains some naturally occurring fluoride, but usually at levels too low to prevent tooth decay. So many communities adjust the fluoride concentration in the water supply to a level known to reduce tooth decay and promote good oral health. This practice is known as water fluoridation and reaches all people who drink tap water. So given the dramatic decline in tooth decay over the past 70 years since community water fluoridation was implemented, the CDC named the fluoridation of drinking water to prevent tooth decays as one of the great public health interventions of the 20th century. So one of the best things that was done for public health in the last 20 years. Just kidding, 120 years. So another reason that plastic water bottles should be kind of like taken out of like our general rotation in society of things that we use is that using plastic water bottles can cost between 400 to 2,000 times more than tap water a year, and banning plastic water bottles could save consumers a lot of money. Using bottled water is detrimental to the pockets of both big companies and to the average citizen. So mathematicians at Penn State University say that spending $20 on a reusable water bottle can save the average American up to $1,200 a year that they would be spending on plastic water bottles. Using tap water or purchasing a reusable water bottle would significantly decrease the amount of money spent by Americans on plastic water bottles annually. Many companies are being negatively impacted by the cost of producing plastic water bottles. The Pacific Institute says that it takes about 17 million barrels of oil to produce enough plastic for water bottles that are consumed by Americans in just 1 year. So the process as a whole is incredibly expensive and wasteful to both large companies and citizens. Nearly 64% of bottled water comes from municipal supplies, so banning plastic water bottling would protect the local water supplies. Water mining is the process of drilling and pumping out groundwater, and according to hydratelife.org, this process, whether deliberate or inadvertent, of extracting groundwater from a source at a rate in excess of the replenishment rate, such that the groundwater levels decline persistently, threatening exhaustion of the supply or at least a decline of of pumping levels to economic debts. So this process is leading to local water depletion when the companies are taking out all of this water and it just isn't being, replenished by the environment at a very natural rate. This is incredibly harmful to the communities because when a bottled water company makes a contract to extract water from municipal water supplies, they take hundreds of thousands of gallons of water, even if there's a drought or rationing going on in the area, so no matter the circumstances. In conclusion, the production, usage, and discarding of plastic water bottles is incredibly detrimental to individuals, companies, and the environment. Switching to an alternative such as reusable water bottles or local tap water will not only save everyone money, but will also save local water supplies. Okay, let me know if you could hear that well.